When you think of drug lords, you may picture men with guns, but the world of drug trafficking is not just a man's game. In fact, some of the most notorious drug lords in history are women. In this video, we'll be exploring the lives of 5 of the most dangerous female narcos of all time. We'll take a closer look at these ruthless figures and their impact on the world of drug trafficking. If you're interested in the world of crime and are curious about the lives of some of the most powerful and dangerous women in history, then you won't want to miss this video. We'll be diving deep into the stories of these women, their rise to power, and the criminal empires they built. So sit tight and prepare to be shocked by the stories of these fierce and formidable female narcos. 1. Maria Guadalupe Lopez Esquivel. Maria Guadalupe Lopez Esquivel, also known as La Catrina, was a notorious female drug lord who gained notoriety as a leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel in Mexico. Born in 1989 in San Francisco, California, Lopez Esquivel spent much of her childhood in the Mexican state of Jalisco, where she became involved in the drug trade at a young age. Lopez Esquivel quickly rose through the ranks of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, which is one of the most powerful and violent criminal organizations in Mexico. The group is known for its ruthless tactics, including beheadings and other brutal forms of violence, and is responsible for a significant portion of the drug trafficking in the country. As a key leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, Lopez Esquivel was known for her flashy lifestyle and love of luxury. She was often seen driving expensive cars, wearing designer clothing, and partying in exclusive clubs and resorts. Despite her glamorous persona, Lopez Esquivel was also known for her extreme violence. She was reportedly involved in a number of high-profile killings and was responsible for ordering the deaths of rival drug lords and law enforcement officials. In 2019, Lopez Esquivel was arrested by Mexican authorities, but she was quickly released after a group of heavily armed cartel members descended on the courthouse where she was being held and staged a daring escape. The incident made international headlines and underscored the power and influence of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. Lopez Esquivel's notoriety only grew in the months following her escape. She became known as La Catrina for her distinctive skull makeup and elaborate outfits, which she often wore to intimidate her rivals and taunt law enforcement officials. In 2020, Lopez Esquivel was reportedly killed in a shootout with Mexican security forces. Her death was a major blow to the Jalisco New Generation cartel, which has been responsible for a significant portion of the violence and drug trafficking in Mexico in recent years. Despite her violent and criminal activities, Lopez Esquivel's life and death have captured the public imagination and cemented her status as a notorious figure in Mexican popular culture. 2. Sandra Avila Beltran. Sandra Avila Beltran, also known as the Queen of the Pacific, is a notorious female drug lord who was born into a family of drug traffickers. Her mother's family were notorious heroin smugglers, and her father, Alfonso Avila Quintero, was the brother of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, the leader of the Guadalajara cartel in Mexico. Avila Beltran became involved in the drug trade at a young age and quickly rose through the ranks of the Sinaloa cartel, which is one of the largest and most powerful criminal organizations in Mexico. She was known for her connections to high-level drug lords and her ability to move large quantities of drugs across borders undetected. Despite her high-profile status, Avila Beltran managed to evade law enforcement for many years. She was reportedly involved in a number of high-profile drug trafficking operations and was known for her lavish lifestyle, which included expensive cars, designer clothing, and luxury homes. In 2007, Avila Beltran was arrested in Mexico on drug trafficking charges, but she was later released due to a lack of evidence. She was arrested again in 2012 in Mexico City, and in 2013, she was extradited to the United States to face charges related to her involvement in the drug trade. In 2014, Avila Beltran pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to traffic drugs and was sentenced to 70 months in prison. She was released in 2015 and returned to Mexico, where she has reportedly kept a low profile. Despite her criminal activities, Avila Beltran's life and story have captured the public imagination and cemented her status as a notorious figure in Mexican popular culture. Her story's been the subject of books, movies, and television shows, and she remains a symbol of the violent and dangerous world of drug trafficking in Mexico. 3. Jocelyn Alejandra Niño. Jocelyn Alejandra Niño, commonly known by her alias La Flaca, was a suspected assassin of the Gulf Cartel, a notorious criminal organization based in Tamaulipas, Mexico. She was born in the 1990s to a relatively poor family in northeastern Mexico. Niño reportedly joined the Gulf Cartel in her late teens or early 20s and became a member of the Los Ciclones faction, which was led by Angel Eduardo Prado. She quickly rose through the organization's ranks and was known for her involvement in several high-profile criminal activities, including drug trafficking and assassinations. Niño was suspected of being involved in the murder of 2 Mexican Navy personnel in 2013, and was also believed to have been responsible for the death of a police officer in 2014. She was known for her skill with firearms, and for her ability to carry out violent acts with precision and efficiency. On April 13, 2015, Niño was killed during a shootout with Mexican authorities in the city of Reynosa, Tamaulipas. Her death was seen as a major blow to the Gulf Cartel, and was widely reported in Mexican media. Despite her criminal activities, her life and story have been the subject of fascination and speculation in popular culture. She remains a notorious figure in the world of Mexican organized crime. 4. Melissa Margarita Calderon Ojeda. Melissa Margarita Calderon Ojeda, known by her nickname La China, is a suspected Mexican drug trafficker and assassin who rose to prominence as the leader of the enforcer group Las Fuerzas Especiales de los Damaso, which was affiliated with the Sinaloa cartel. She was born on August 12, 1984, in the Mexican state of Sinaloa. Calderon Ojeda grew up in a poor family in Culiacan, the capital city of Sinaloa. She had a difficult childhood and was reportedly exposed to violence at a young age. As a teenager, she became involved with the drug trade and quickly gained a reputation as a skilled enforcer and hitwoman. In the early 2010s, Calderon Ojeda became associated with the Sinaloa cartel, one of the largest and most powerful criminal organizations in Mexico. She was soon appointed as the leader of Las Fuerzas Especiales de los Damaso, an enforcer group that carried out assassinations, kidnappings, and other violent crimes on behalf of the cartel. Under Calderon Ojeda's leadership, the group gained a reputation for being particularly ruthless and efficient. She was known for her strategic thinking and for her ability to carry out violent acts with precision and speed. She reportedly used social media to recruit new members and to communicate with other members of the cartel. Calderon Ojeda's fortunes took a turn in 2017, when her boss, Damaso Lopez Nunez, was arrested and extradited to the United States. She was subsequently targeted by rival criminal groups and by Mexican authorities, who launched a nationwide manhunt to capture her. In June 2018, Calderon Ojeda was arrested by Mexican authorities in the state of Sonora. She was charged with drug trafficking and organized crime, among other offenses. Her arrest was widely seen as a major victory for Mexican law enforcement, and as a blow to the Sinaloa cartel. Despite her criminal activities, Calderon Ojeda has been the subject of fascination and speculation in popular culture, with some media outlets portraying her as a kind of anti-heroine. Her life and story reflect the ongoing violence and instability in Mexico, and serve as a reminder of the toll that the drug trade and organized crime can take on individuals and communities. 5. Enedina Arellano Felix de Toledo. Enedina Arellano Felix de Toledo, born on April 12, 1961, is a Mexican drug lord and one of the founding members of the Tijuana cartel. Alongside her brothers, she helped establish and grow the cartel into one of the most powerful criminal organizations in Mexico. Arellano Felix de Toledo was born in Mazatlan, Sinaloa, into a family with a history of involvement in the drug trade. She and her siblings, including her brothers Benjamin, Ramon, Francisco, and Javier, became involved in the drug trade in the 1980s and soon established the Tijuana cartel. The cartel quickly became known for its violent tactics and for its involvement in drug trafficking and other criminal activities. Arellano Felix de Toledo played a key role in the Tijuana cartel's operations as a logistical accountant, managing the finances of the organization and ensuring that drug shipments made it across the border into the United States. She was known for her shrewd business acumen and her ability to navigate the complex logistics of the drug trade. Despite her involvement in the drug trade, Arellano Felix de Toledo was known for her low profile and her ability to stay out of the public eye. She was careful to avoid drawing attention to herself, and was rarely photographed or interviewed by the media. In the 1990s and early 2000s, the Tijuana cartel engaged in a bloody turf war with its rival, the Sinaloa cartel, which resulted in the deaths of thousands of people in Mexico. Arellano Felix de Toledo and her brothers were among the most wanted criminals in the country, and were targeted by both Mexican and American law enforcement agencies. Despite the pressure from authorities, the Tijuana cartel continued to thrive under Arellano Felix de Toledo's leadership. The cartel was known for its vast network of corrupt officials, and for its ability to evade law enforcement efforts. In 2007, Benjamin Arellano Felix, one of Enadina's brothers and the leader of the Tijuana cartel, was arrested by Mexican authorities. His arrest was a major blow to the organization, and led to a power struggle between Enadina and her remaining brothers. In the end, Enadina emerged as the de facto leader of the cartel, and continued to run its operations. In 2011, Enadina was indicted by a U.S. federal grand jury on charges of drug trafficking and money laundering. However, she remains at large and is believed to be hiding in Mexico. Enadina Arellano Felix de Toledo's story is a reflection of the complex and often violent world of Mexican drug cartels. Despite the danger and risk involved in her activities, she was able to build a powerful criminal organization and maintained her position of leadership within it for many years. Her story serves as a cautionary tale about the destructive and deadly consequences of the drug trade, and the need for ongoing efforts to combat organized crime in Mexico and beyond.